What a disaster. Welcome to tonight's special report on the success of Kamala Harris's border visit. On Friday, the beloved leftist visited the border, and we're happy to report the Biden border crisis is no longer a crisis. She fixed it. How was Kamala's visit such a huge success? Well, there were three keys to her success. Key number one was location. To understand that, let me throw it over to myself at the weather. Take it away. Thank you, JP. The border disaster epicenter is here. This is where thousands of illegals are entering the US every day, along with drug cartels bringing women and children to sell in the human trafficking trade, which is more lucrative for them than drugs. And this is the part of the border that Kamala visited, El Paso, over 1,000 miles away, which allowed her to better take care of the problem. How so? It's kind of like if someone has a major problem in their knee and needs surgery on it, the best place to perform the surgery is on their shoulder. Why? Because there's no problem there. So it'll be an easier surgery to appear to be successful at. And when you consider the border crisis has been knowingly caused by the Biden administration, as they've eliminated the Remain in Mexico policy, along with 9 other border control policies, you realize the patient's knee problem exists in the first place because injuries have been inflicted onto it by the doctor. But remember, this is also the right doctor to fix the knee problem, which she'll do by working on the shoulder. And if that analogy doesn't make any sense to you, it's simply because you are not a doctor and don't understand how medicine works, or how organized crime works. And now, over to JP at the desk. Great pretend journalism. Pulitzer Prize winning stuff right there. And the second key that made Harris's trip a huge success was blame. Kamala constructively and accurately blamed the Trump administration for the border crisis created by the Biden administration. Blaming someone else for what you did to yourself is always the mark of good leaders and 5-year-olds. With respect to the border, Harris said of the Trump administration, "We inherited a tough situation." Yes, Kamala just AOC'd herself, blaming someone else for oppressing her based on what she's done to herself. My heart goes out to the Biden administration. And with a difference of opinion, Trump has said, "The Biden administration inherited from me the strongest, safest, and most secure border in US history. And in mere weeks, they turned it into the single worst border crisis in US history. An unmitigated disaster zone." Whoa, he's just obviously trying to incite violence. Could we get his words censored, please? Fact checkers? That's what we pay you for. Also, in the definitely not lying column, after refusing to visit the border for months, Harris's team insisted her border visit was not motivated by the fact that Trump will be visiting the border this week with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Seems as honest as it is necessary for her to have her pronouns in her Twitter bio. But unlike Trump, who will be visiting the border where the problem is, Kamala visited the border where the problem isn't, so she could fix the problem. Let's move on to the third and final key that made Kamala's border visit such a success. Progress. While spending most of her time at the airport posing in front of bought and paid for media rather than being at the actual border, Kamala said, "In 5 months, we've made progress. There's still more work to be done, but we've made progress." Progress indeed. But how much progress? Last month, 180,034 illegals attempted to cross the US border. That's the worst number in 2 decades. And according to the Daily Wire, that's a 674% increase from last May when the Trump administration was controlling the border. That's what she's referring to when she says progress. Based on that, the most accurate definition of progress we can come up with is moving backwards. Kamala's border progress has made just as much progress as critical race theory has made in eliminating racism by creating more racism. You know what? Something really clicked in for me about the whole Biden administration and how they work during that last sentence. Kamala then amplified her success at the border by declaring, "We've made extreme progress the last few months." Fact checkers? Is that it? Very true. That feels accurate. Extreme progress indeed. Especially when you consider what the Biden administration's agenda is. What is their agenda? Well, it's based on their deliberate actions, not their misdirected words. Remember the doctor operating on the shoulder of the patient with a hurt knee? Well, hurting the knee is their agenda. A border official has said if Vice President Harris really wanted to assess the situation at the border, she'd head to McAllen and sites along the Rio Grande Valley. He clearly doesn't know anything about the border. He's just a border official who works at the border every single day. Harris is the border czar appointed by Joe Barely Alive Biden, who's the most popular president in history based on what we tell you. Fact checkers? With her three-pronged approach to a hugely successful border visit consisting of location, blame, and progress, we send Kamala huge congratulations on a job well done. No wonder she has such wild popularity that during the Democratic primaries, she peaked in the polling at 14%. Before having to drop out of the race due to popularity. Well, it's worth noting her wild popularity continued to show in El Paso during her staged border visit, when a group of raving fans greeted her when she arrived. Because the left is so racially sensitive that they generalize that all minorities have to be Democrats.
I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Here you can see a group of raving fans that are mostly Latinos dressed up pretending to be Republicans, acting like they don't like her and what her administration has done to their community. Just as a joke, obviously. Shucks. That's it for tonight's special report on Kamala Harris's border success. Stay tuned tomorrow night for a report on why Joe Biden only threatened to nuke US citizens because he loves them. Good night! One more thing, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Blue Blocks. I'll tell you this, I love biohacking, but my all-time favorite bang for your buck biohack is wearing Blue Blocks' blue light blocking glasses. They help you feel and function your best by protecting you from harmful blue light. And you know what? If I'm being honest with you, there has never been a better time to get a pair of Blue Blocks. And there's honestly never been a better time to get an absurd amount of Blue Blocks gear. Because now until only June 30th, you get up to 30% off all your Blue Blocks gear. So that means all your Blue Blocks glasses, and if you're like me and you're a little high maintenance, then multiple pairs of Blue Blocks glasses, the Sleep Remedy mask with 100% darkness guarantee, Lumi LED red night light bulbs, and the Hive and Hive Max red light therapy devices. So if you want to treat yourself and treat your health to an upgrade, there's never been a better time to stock up on anything Blue Blocks, because now until June 30th, you get up to 30% off. Just go to blueblocks.com/JP and enjoy.